Hi friends, welcome back to our channel. So in previous video we have discussed about what is SQL and advantages and disadvantages, what is data, database, database management system and relational database management system. So in the previous video we have just orally gone through all these terminologies. In this video again we will revise the concepts which we have discussed in the previous video, and then we will enter into our next contents like what is table and what is column and what are rows and what are the data types and constraints. So just quick revision of previous contents. So what is SQL? As we all know, so anyone didn't watch that previous video, please watch that video which is provided in the description. The link is provided in the description. So what is SQL? SQL stands for structured query language. So it is specific language used in programming and design for managing data held in relational database management system. So all these are already discussed clearly in previous video. Just now, as in previous video, we didn't provide all this content. So for your reference, again we provided this content in this video. Just quick review as a revision of previous video. So what can SQL do? As I said, SQL can execute queries against a database, can retrieve data from database, can insert records into a database, and update, delete, create a new database. So with SQL, we can do all these operations. Going to next topics, and also here some more operations. We can create new tables and we can create stored procedures and we can create views and set permissions on tables, procedures and views. We can do all these operations using SQL. So why we need SQL? SQL is used to communicate with the database. Yeah, it is clear. According to American National Standard Institute ANSI, it is the standard language for relational database management system. SQL statements are used to perform tasks such as update a data on a database or retrieve data from database. As we discussed, it, with using SQL, we can do all these operations as we mentioned in the second one. Create new database, store procedures, views, permissions on tables, procedures and views, and also execute, retrieve, insert, update, delete, and create. So we can do many operations using SQL. And also, what are the advantages of SQL? Coming to advantages, faster query processing. So large amount of data is retrieved quickly and efficiently using SQL. And also same as we discussed earlier, we can do multiple operations. So all these operations we will see with examples. And now as we are discussing about advantages, we need not to have no coding skills for using SQL, and it is a standard language and it is portable. It is used through PCs, server, laptops, independent of any platform, as we all know. An interactive language. SQL is very easy to learn and understand. Many people think that it is difficult. Just listen and practice once. Definitely, you will get a good. I mean, you can gain a lot of knowledge. Main thing is we have to practice. And coming to for everything we have advantages as well as disadvantages. For SQL also we have a little bit disadvantages. It has complex interface and it is very costly and partial control. Okay, we do not have complete control on database. So what are the variations of SQL? So of SQL you can learn MySQL, PL SQL and SQLite. So if you have interested on database to work on the database, you can go through all those technologies. So now coming to data. What is data? As I said, it is a raw fact which describes the properties of an entity. Entity is nothing but an object. In the previous video, I said I have taken the example of mobile. So it has features like RAM, ROM, camera, battery, backup, and all those things come under the properties. Entity is nothing but object. Mobile phone is an object in our example, and properties are nothing but RAM, ROM, and all those things. So we can also say that data are units of information, often numeric, that are collected through observation. It's clear. Coming to database. So Whatever the data we have collected, we need particular place to store the data, and whenever we need, we have to get back. That is called retrieve. Whenever we need it, we have to retrieve, and it is stored from unauthorized access and all those things. So for that, we need a database. So database is a place or a medium where data is stored in systematic and organized manner. Generally, we perform some operations on this database. As I said, we have to create a database, and we have to insert, and also we have to read, and we have to update, and we have to delete. So generally these are called CRUD operations. CRUD. So what is database management system? Just it is software which is used to maintain and manage database. It is a type of software. Database management system is a type of software which is used to manage and maintain the database. Why we need to maintain and manage database? As I said, for the security and authorization issues, we have to maintain our database very securely. So to communicate with the database, we need language that is called query language. With the help of database management system software, we are going to maintain and manage database. So to maintain and manage database, we have to communicate with the database. So for the communication, we use query language. Clear? Coming to relational database management system. It is also a type of DBMS software. As I said, DBMS is a software. This RDBMS also software. Like that, we have many number of softwares: RDBMS, HDBMS, ERDBMS, and ODBMS. So RDBMS is also a type of software which is used to maintain and manage database. Same for the security and authorization. So here we use to communicate by using structured query language. Here comes our subject. So that is the purpose why we need SQL. So SQL is used to communicate with RDBMS. Clear? So coming to table, as I said, data is stored in form of tables. Table is nothing but it is a combination of rows and columns in our language generally. Coming to SQL, we have to say that it is a combination of attributes and records. In SQL, we call rows as attributes and columns as records. And also we can say that columns are also referred as attributes. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, small mistake here. Rows are called records. Here we can't change. You can change here. Rows are called records and columns are called attributes. Okay, you can change here. Columns are called attributes and rows are called records. Small change, sorry. Column is also referred as attributes or fields. So we can use three terminologies for mentioning columns. First thing is column, next one is attributes and also fields. Why we need column? Columns are used to represent a properties of an entities. If we take mobile, cam is one attribute, and battery is one attribute, and megapixels of camera is one attribute. So like that, RAM and ROM. So all these come under attributes. Okay, that we can also call as fields. Columns are attributes or fields. We can call it as in three different terminologies. Coming to rows. Rows are referred as records or tuples. Tuples. As similar to columns, we have three terminologies for rows. We can call it as rows or records or tuples. Okay, just very simple. Rows is used to represent all the properties of a single entity. In columns, we are going to mention RAM, ROM, camera, battery, and all those things. So for your reference, I will show one table in just few minutes. Just let us complete our theory concept, and then we will move to the real-time examples. So what is relational model? you may get a doubt why this SQL is storing the data only in tables. You may get a doubt in any other day or some other time. So it is a concept which was designed by E.F. Codd. He is a data scientist. E.F. Codd is a data scientist who was a data scientist. So he designed this concept to store data in database. And also he has mentioned some rules and regulations. So rules and regulations to store data. So first one is the data stored in a cell. Cell is very simple. It is a combination of row and column. Okay, I will show you. I will show in the SQL Oracle 11G itself. I will show what is cell, what is row, what is column, and what are attributes and what are records, all those things. So data stored in a cell must be a single value data. It is clear. We can store only, for example, if you take the serial number 1, you can give only 1. For example, if you are storing 100 numbers, you can give only 100. After that, comma 101, comma 102, you can't give. Okay, that is the example. Next one is in RDBMS, we store everything in form of tables, including metadata. Yeah, obviously we know that the data is stored in form of tables, that is clear, including metadata. You may get it out. What is metadata? Yeah, very simple. Metadata is nothing but details about data. In database, we are going to store n number of objects data. So for example, if you take a picture, so for that picture we may get some data. For example, length and width, and also on what date we have captured the image, and where it is stored, and what is the size of that picture. So all these come under metadata, nothing but details of data. In RDBMS, we store everything in form of tables, including metadata. Clear? Coming to, according to EF Codd, we can store data in multiple tables. If needed, we can establish connection between two tables using key attributes. It is very clear. We can store data in n number of tables, that is clear. If we need to establish connection between two tables, we use primary keys and foreign keys. So when discussing about joins, you will get these two terms. In constraints, we are going to discuss about what is foreign key and primary key. When coming to joins, then we can enter into the practicals, how we are going to join two tables and all those things. We can validate data entered into table in two steps, by assigning data types and by assigning constraints. Clear? As I discussed, table columns and rows are clear. All the properties of entity clear. Here, if you see, you may get these two questions as interview questions. That's why I mentioned in note. Here, data types are mandatory. Why constraints are optional? You may get one more question. SQL is case sensitive? Obviously, not case sensitive. And one more thing is, for this question, we may get answer after discussing about data types. So, what is data type? Data types are used to determine what kind of data we are going to store in a particular memory allocation. So, before we are storing the data, we have to give the information what kind of data we are storing and how much memory it is needed. So for all these things, data types are mandatory. Next, there are different types of data types. One is char, next one is varchar or varchar2, and next one is number, and next one is date, and next one is large object. We will discuss one by one in detail. So char, syntax is char of size. So it is used to store characters of capital A to capital Z, small a to Z, 0 to 9. We can use to store special characters. And one more thing is, it is a fixed length memory allocation. Please remember, it is fixed length memory allocation. and it is used to store maximum of 2000 characters and minimum is 1. The main drawback of this char data type is the memory is getting wasted. Once you define the storage, you can't change. Even suppose I mentioned char of 100, I utilized only 50, remaining 50 are wasted. That is the main drawback of char. We can overcome this drawback by using varchar. Varchar or varchar2 both are same, just storage capacity is different. The syntax is varchar of size. It is variable length memory allocation. Coming to char, it is fixed length memory allocation. That's why memory is getting wasted. But here it is variable length memory allocation. What is the difference is, for example, I mentioned varchar of 100. I utilized 50. Remaining 50 here won't get wasted. It will again enter into the database. The storage is sent back to database. That is the main advantage of varchar or varchar2. The difference between varchar and varchar2 is varchar is having of size 2000 maximum and minimum is 1. Coming to varchar2, it is maximum of 4, it can store maximum of 4000 characters and minimum is 1. That is the main difference. And coming to number data type is used to store numerical values. The syntax is number of precision and scale. You may get it out why scale is mentioned in square brackets. It is not mandatory. That's why I mentioned in square brackets. And it can accept two arguments such as precision and scale. So what is precision? It is used to determine the digits we are going to store in numerical place. Numerical place. Nothing but after point. And one more thing is, what is number? It is used to determine number of digits that we are going to store in decimal place within the precision. The maximum scale is 127. You may get interview question. What is the maximum precision you can store? That is 38. And maximum scale we can store is 127. For example, if you see here different examples I have mentioned here. Here the precision is 5. So that's why this is, you don't confuse here. This is plus or minus. Don't confuse. I am unable to write plus or minus. That's why I mentioned it like this. This is plus or minus. Okay. So 9999. 5 nines. Next one is 4, 0. For 1, 2, 3, precision is greater than scale. If you observe example 1, example 2, and example 3, precision is greater than scale. Precision is nothing but 5. Here 4, 0. 0 is nothing but scale value. Here 5. 5 is precision and 2 is scale. So if you subtract 5 minus 2, 3. So that is stored in the numerical place and remaining 2 is stored in the scale. And here also 8, 3. Same, precision is greater than scale. 8 minus 3, 5. So plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0.3 digits, 999, which is stored in decimal place. Here if you see fifth example, 4, 4, precision is equals to scale. In this case, what we have to do is, we have to subtract precision minus scale anyway. So 4 minus 4 is 0. So that's why 0.999, 4 nines. So like this we have to mention. And next one is number. If you see sixth example, 2, precision is less than 5. So in this case, 5 minus 2 is 3. 2 minus 5 is minus 3. So just to remember, I am saying 2 minus 5 is minus 3. So 0, 0, 0, minus 3. So that's why we have mentioned 3 zeros and remaining 2 nines. So all examples are covered here. So first 4 are precision is greater than scale, and fifth example is precision is equal to scale, and last example is precision is less than scale. I think the number concept is clear. So next one is date. Here one more example, 3, 8, same as 6th. 3 minus 8 minus 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and remaining 3s are 9. So date. Date is one of the data type which is always used to store date. So we have two types of dates here. Please remember, we can store two data type date in two formats. One is date, month and year, and next one is date, month, year. So what is the difference? Here also we are storing date, month, year. Here also we are storing date, month, year. The difference is, for example, my date of birth is 1999. So just example, here I can give 99. Clear? Just example. Here we can give last two digits of the year, but here we have to give 1999. So just an example I have given. Whatever the date, whatever the year, either 2000 or 1998 or 97, 6, whatever the date. If we take first 01 Jan Jan 2021. So here we can mention 21 enough. But coming to here, we can't use such type of years here. Especially remember one thing, please remember date, month, year. You have to use this type of years only to represent national moments like Independence Day, Republic Day. So such type of years. And generally date of births and remaining all date formats are used by using this format, and especially for relational national moments we have to use this type of data type. Very simple, very small concept. And coming to large object, this large object data type is designed to store large amount of data, to hold large amount of data. You may get it out, what is large amount of data? Very easy, just like videos and images, all these. Coming to large object, there are two types: character large object and binary large object. Yeah, in binaries or characters, we are also having large amount of data. So in character type, to store characters up to 4 GB of size, we are going to use character large object. It is known as CLOB. But coming to binaries like videos, images, we are going to use binary large object. It is used to store images, videos, and files, etc. So we have 5 types of data types. One is large object, this character large object, and binary large object. And next one is date. These two are clear. The next one is number. And next one is varchar or varchar2. And next one is char. So that is the reason why data types are mandatory but constraints are optional. It will provide amount of storage, how much it is needed to store. So if we don't store the data, definitely we can't do changes, or we can't retrieve, we can't do anything. It is useless. So that is the reason why data types are mandatory but constraints are optional. So coming to constraints, what are constraints? Just constraints are nothing but conditions. What are those conditions that we will discuss in detail, that are used to particular column or attribute or fields? We can call column as 3 types: columns or attributes or fields, to validate the data. It ensures that accuracy and reliability of data in table. It is clear. Coming to unique, what is unique? What is not null? What is check? What is primary key? And what is foreign key? We will discuss. So unique is very simple. Just when generally we use these constraints and data types mainly when creating the tables. So to do some changes in database, we don't need all these. Just for going to creating the tables, then only we mainly deal with these constraints and all those things. So what is unique? So unique is a constraint, just as I said, as we are discussing about constraints. So unique is a constraint which is assigned to a particular column, which cannot accept repeated or duplicate values. So for a particular column, if we assign unique constraint, it won't allow repeated values or duplicate values. Clear? Means we have the values are different, which are different, then only it will accept, otherwise it will reject. Coming to next one, not null. So not null is a constraint which is assigned to a particular column which cannot be null or which are mandatory. For example, when we are storing the data of a particular organization, we need serial numbers. Without serial numbers, we can't know how much employees we are storing in our database. So yes, serial numbers are compulsory. So for that, attributes or fields or columns, we can assign not null constraint. Clear? So what happens is, if we don't give the serial number, it won't accept to enter further details. That is the reason why we use not null. So one more thing is check. So check is also constraint which is assigned to a particular column for extra validations. Generally, we use checks in two columns or attributes or fields. One is mobile number and one more thing is salary. So which in organization we have different employees with different salaries. So if salary is greater than 0, only it will accept. If phone number length of phone number is equals to 10, then only it will accept. By mistake, when entering the data, uh, employee can do mistakes like entering 11 numbers or entering 9 numbers. So it will lead to very difficulty to contact the employee. If obviously if we enter the wrong details of employee like phone number, when we need to contact, it is very difficult. We can contact through mail, that is fine. If we want to call to a particular employee, it is very difficult because we have entered the wrong data. So that is the reason, to overcome these problems, if we give simply check constraint to mobile number and salary, it is very easy. If we give 9 numbers, it won't accept. If we give 11 numbers, it won't accept. If we give 10 only, it will accept. So that is the reason why we need check constraint. And one more thing is primary key and foreign key. These are very important. Primary key and foreign key. What is primary key? Just it is a constraint. Primary key is a constraint. As unique not null check, it is also one of the constraints which is assigned to a particular column. Okay. The thing is, we are going to assign primary key when we are creating the database. When we are creating a table, sorry, when we are creating a table, we are going to assign to a particular column this primary key. To which column we have to assign primary key? The column we can have only, that we will discuss. We can have only one primary key in a table, that is fine. It cannot accept repeated or duplicate values, and it cannot accept null values. The column and attribute or field which we have assigned the primary key, the details must and should be entered. Otherwise, it won't allows us to enter further details. And one more thing is, it is unique and not null. And it is mandatory but recommended to have one. It is not mandatory but is recommended to have one in a table. That is clear. Primary, all these constraints are not mandatory. Just for our sake, for our convenience, we are using all these things. And one more thing is foreign key. It is also constraint. It is completely opposite to the primary key. We can have only one primary key in a table, but coming to foreign key, we can have n number of foreign keys in a table. And it cannot accept repeated or duplicate values. It can accept repeated or duplicate values. It cannot accept null values. It can accept null values. It is a combination of U means, don't confuse, unique, and N means not null. It cannot, it is unique or not null. It is not combination of unique or not null. Generally, foreign key is present in child table but actually belongs to parent table. Clear? Only primary key can travel to another table. When it travels, it becomes foreign key. So you may get a doubt, why it need to travel? Why all these things? So when we are discussing about the joins, you may get a doubt. I mean, you will get clarified this doubt, because as we said, we can store data in multiple tables. That is correct. We can store, but we have to join. In some situations, we have to join multiple tables and we have to get some data. So in those situations, with the help of primary key and foreign key, we are going to combine, or we are going to join both tables, and then we are going to perform certain operations to get whatever the data which is required to us. So this is about data types and constraints, and what is data, what is a database, DBMS, DBMS, or relational model, rules of relational model, or rules of EF code, and rows, columns. I think we have discussed everything. So in previous video, just we discussed some topics, but we didn't have these points. Especially we have discussed about up to yeah, relational database management system. Up to we discussed here, but there is no, we didn't mention points like this. Just we orally discussed all these topics. So that's why in this video we have detailedly mentioned all these points. And again, just like a revision, we have mentioned all this. Okay, so go through this video, and yeah, as I said, I will show you I mean that SQL concept. uh, 1 second. If anyone don't know how to install SQL, please go through our previous videos, SCOTT, Scott and Tiger. So practice is very important. So please install SQL and practice. Yeah, now it is open. If you see here, generally to know what are the tables which are present in our database, SCLECT, select space star from tab. See, here we have department table, employment table, bonus table, and salary grade table. So to know, to get the details of particular table, we have to give SCLECT, select star from EMP. So I need the details of employee table. So semicolon, and see here, these are all the details. If you see here, it is having lot of spaces between these two columns, or two rows. So to decrease that one, we use SCLECT, not a select, set line size, set line size 100, enter. So, oh sorry, we should not use space, set line size, set line size 100, and set page size 100, enter. Now CL select star from EMP. See, so previously when we have given select star from EMP, it is displayed. We got correct output, but the space between two rows is very lengthy. Now we have reduced the space between two rows by using these two queries. Set line size 100, set page size 100. Now select star from EMP. So if you see, so this employee number, employee name, job, manager, hire date, salary, column, department number, all these are called nothing but attributes or fields or columns. So this is called column, employee number column, employee name column, job. So if you see here, employee number, for employee number is compulsory, it is different to each other. So for every individual, it will be different. So for these type of uh, columns, we can assign primary key. Okay, and this is nothing but rows or tuples or records. So this is rows or records or tuples, and these are called columns, attributes or fields, and these are called same columns or attributes or fields. So just to show, I have shown this. So in future we are going to definitely we are going to use this, and we are going to solve n number of queries. So keep watching, and thank you so much for watching.